jump in the number of green buildings. So that being said, I should also say the test is incredibly hard. I took it 4 years ago when it was easy, but my students now routinely tell me how hard it is, and I have friends that took it 4 times before passing. So my advice is to study.
That's great, Scott. So perhaps you can give some perspective on that as well. You took the test more recently than Eric, and I've definitely heard this exact thing. I was actually studying for the test a couple of years ago and compared the manual that I was working on to the manual that one of my friends is working on right now to get his certification. And absolutely, they added quite a bit to the manual in terms of not just length, but the technical details. Scott, when did you pass your exam, and what was your experience with it?
I took the test just prior to the recent upgrade and change in certification requirements. So I kind of grandfathered in under the last batch just prior to the recent change in requirements. So the reason it was particularly hard for me was that I would not have been able to retest the old requirement. I had to restudy everything, the new requirements. So that was the additional. I'm also actually certification. It'd be builders rather than U.S. building. Interesting in that they both have similar kinds of requirements if you were to go with the LEED home requirements. But remember that the U.S. Building Council is, I would say, architect driven, and the National Association of Home Builders obviously builder driven, and so they each have their benefits, and the requirements, like I said, are similar, and certifications are similar. But test to be certified are not even on the same page as far as difficulty and level of understanding required to pass the test.
It's really interesting. It's one of my personal questions that I'm coming into this particular webinar is around label fatigue that we see often in green business world, where there are for to say sustainable food, there's USDA organic label, and that's pretty much the gold standard for a lot of things. But there are so many others, and obviously for products, there are a bajillion green certification labels people can put on their products, and obviously better than others. Forestry products, you have the FSC label, the SFI label. They could really be different in terms of stringency. So I was going to talk a little bit about this because this is a real curiosity of mine. I think green building and sustainable food seem to be two of the clear winners in the green business economy, the new economy. And part of me wants to attribute that to this label fatigue that some consumers have. Perhaps you guys can talk to this in terms of the effectiveness of LEED. Is it enough? It doesn't seem to have much in terms of competition besides this other certification Scott was just talking about from the National Association of Home Builders. Is that part of the reason for the success, the standardization? Is this part of the reason for the success of the green building industry?
I think LEED is successful for a number of reasons. First off, the National Association of Home Builders standard is a good standard, but remember, it's just for home. LEED really initially only targeted commercial buildings. Even today, the LEED for home standard is pretty weak and needs a lot of improvement. The other standards, LEED for commercial construction or LEED for commercial interiors and so forth, are really well done. I think they had a first mover advantage, certainly, and that they were kind of the first to do it. But I also think that they made LEED a very democratic, census-driven process made sure that it didn't become susceptible to a lot of corruption that some other voting systems might have, such as the forest certification, which is kind of made by the lumber industry. So I think in that regard, it's been very successful. But to go back to what you were saying before, I think the reason you see the buildings and food are ones that were kind of the big movers, the big winners in green is no surprise because we spend 80 to 90% of our time indoors. We never go outside apparently, and we breathe in the same air over and over again. So the issues of health are very important, and with food, of course, the issues of health are of equal importance. So I think it's people's own selfish health that's making us kind of look at food and things first. Probably what some other industries and products haven't come to the forefront yet because people aren't making the connections between healthy products.
And clearly, these are our basic senses in life. I mean, we need shelter, we need water. Those are the basic, parts of the base of the pyramid, Maslow's hierarchy pyramid. To take care of those things, everybody needs those things. So perhaps that also speaks a little bit to success. Let me just Scott, and let me ask you this question, Scott, just to follow up to this. In terms of marketing green building, what speaks to your customers? Is it the health that Eric was just talking about? Is it community? Is it creating community around green things? Is it efficiency and the energy savings, the water savings? Is it tourism? What do you see is really communicating to these folks?
The primary thing is comfort. We can talk about energy savings, we can talk about cost savings, we can talk about saving the planet, we can talk about lots of things that resonate with people. One of the people who really kind of hit a nerve or hit a mainstream of people that are associated with and drawn to green building and green building practices is Not So Big series by Sarah Spanka. And she profiled one of the clients, or not one of the clients, one of the attributes of people who were drawn to that. And she actually had a name for it, which I'm struggling to come up with right now. But one of the main things they are looking for, particularly in home, is their home as a sanctuary. That sanctuary then being comfortable, being peaceful, not having toxins, not promoting all the things that we typically associate with sanctuary and are transmitted or put there and implemented by building practices. And so you aren't bringing in toxins that are to cause sin. You aren't going to be bringing in, you're going to be providing fresh air. So even though you're making your house energy efficient and tighten up the envelope, you're still looking at the whole house as a system, and you're bringing in outside air through heat recovery ventilators, things like that. So looking at that living space as sanctuary, what would implement that, I think, is what draws a lot of people, and that covers all of bases, including things like health and grooming, things like that.
Let me go over to some pictures of recent projects that Eric has been working on, just kind of touching this comfort aspect. And these are, Eric, if you want to talk through a couple of these pictures, I was just letting through my email. If you look at these, one of the primary that jumps out is just how inviting these buildings are and how comfortable do look. Eric, do you want to talk about any of these in particular? You want to scroll more?
Well, this